Hello adventurers and welcome back to my channel. Today I have something exciting. We're going to be testing out a power station, but it's a different power station than I've seen on any other channel. In fact, whenever this company reached out to me and said, would you like to do a review of this? I went and did a quick Google search and I didn't see a whole lot of videos. So I'm hoping that this can help us all out with learning a little bit new about a company that we might not be as familiar with. So let's go. I think I hear the package man, the package man, the package man. Yep, there is the package man. It's FedEx. Okay, it is here. And the package just arrived via FedEx. And we're going to be checking out this power station today to find out a little bit more. So let's talk about power. I use a lot of power whenever I'm traveling, and I think that over the time that I've been on YouTube, you all have seen me go through tons and tons of watts of power because I run my lights, I have my computer, I have my refrigerator, I have a lot of camera equipment, I have all of those things and they go with me everywhere. And so along the way, I decided I wanted to focus on sharing what was available out there so that everyone could kind of be ahead of the curve when it comes to power. And let me tell you, there's been a lot of times where I have sat in my van and thought, oh, why do I use so much power? But then reality hits and I'm like, oh yeah, because this is literally what I do. I can't get around this. So today I'm gonna put this box on the ground and figure it out. Okay, I think this is gonna be great. It took a little bit to get it out of the box. It was really wedged in there, but today we're gonna be trying out Egretech. And I think Egretech is going to be right up our alley because I use a lot of high ticket items when it comes to power consumption. Let me explain. Do you use a laptop? If you do, that's a high ticket item. Do you use an electric kettle? Also a high ticket item. Do you by chance use any kind of heat source like a heater or an electric blanket? Also high ticket items. Guess who has all of those? This girl right here. And because of that, I've been looking for lots of different resources for which I can use different power stations to power my needs. Now, is everyone going to have the same needs that I do? No, they are not. However, if you do, is this one good for you? That's what we're about to find out. That's the million-dollar question whenever I do any kind of unboxing is this going to work for all the things that I need it to work for? And if so, is it going to be user-friendly so I can see how long it's going to work? So that's where we're gonna start off by unboxing and finding out what's in the box. So starting off with this, it has a little pull tab here in the back that is pretty wedged in here. Again, they don't want this thing to go anywhere. They also have tape surrounding the top, so it's definitely in there good. Right on top, we have our first little nugget of happiness. We have our little Egretech box that is right here in the top. I'm assuming this is going to be the cords, so we'll take it out. Sure enough, there are our cords, so we'll set this over to the side and we'll get to those in just a moment. On the side, it looks like we have the book. Maybe it's kind of wedged in there though, so I may have to remove this piece first. But again, you see the attention to packaging is very important. Now I realize a lot of people overlook packaging and they just don't care, but that's very valuable to me because I have noticed that in the past, whenever I purchased or when I've received items from different companies, that if they're in better packaging, they tend to last longer because they have been treated better. And so that's just a rule of thumb that I go by every time now. Rule of thumb. Remember rules of thumb like this. Okay, now I can remove the book, which is a pretty thick book. So we'll set that to the side and look it over in a moment. Again, wrapped in plastic, one more layer to protect it. And then there we go. There's the power station. We finally got to it. So it is a nice size overall, not too big, not too small. A flat top with a charger port on top of it. That's nice to be able to just lay your cell phone on it and charge. On the side, it looks like we have a little place that we can lift up. That is where the power comes in, okay. There is a vent over here to vent the battery itself. On the front, it looks like we have two USB-A's, two USB-C's. We have a 12 volt right there. So all in all, not too bad. What about this side? Okay, a couple plugs on this side as well as a button to turn them on and off, and then another vent. Now again, I told you we'd go back to this box in just a moment. This is the Egretech portable power station. It's the Sonic 1200 watt, and it has a few interesting features right here. It is a lightweight design, which I do appreciate. It says that it is 40% smaller in volume and 30% lighter than other products of similar size. It also has an outdoor fast charging, and it's equipped with an MPPT dynamic that can produce a faster charge with a solar panel of at least 200 watts. So then it has a G-Flow, which is a bidirection inverter. So that's kind of interesting. And then also it has a G-Wave, and it's an intelligent inverter technology that can load up to 2,400 watts. Now, typically power stations will have something similar to this, but it's usually just in the book. This one tells us how long that we could potentially power things, including a notebook, which is a computer, and it says that it could charge it up to 15 charging cycles at 60 watt hours. So that's really helpful to note. It also has iPads, mobile phones, cameras, a drone, and then also outdoor camp lights. And so those are all super handy to note. It does say that the overall working temperature of this is between 0 and 40 degrees Celsius. And then it has a noise volume, which a lot of people want to know about, of 41 decibels max. Now, I always like when the box kind of breaks it down for me before I even get into the testing portion, because that is so handy to just kind of put that into my mind. And then also to see if my things are the average amount of draw. So for example, it says the average computer would be 60 watts. So when I plug my computer in, I'll look to see how many watts that mine is and see if it's the average or if it's above average. And if it's above average, I know it's not going to power it for 15 different cycles. I know it's going to power it for less. And I just do the mental math. However, I've noticed that a lot of things that I might have might draw less. And so again, I'll be able to get more out of it, which is awesome. But sometimes the mental math can be hard, so let's see if the display screen also gives us heads up. Now, in order to do this, the power button is right here. So I turn it on, and when I do, nothing really turns on the screen. Okay, interesting, interesting. Maybe I need to go back to the drawing board. First impression, I'm confused. I'm really confused. Now, this could be nothing. It could just not have arrived charged. That's not a deal breaker for me, because even though sometimes they do come charged, sometimes they don't. And so I'm going to go ahead and plug it in using our cords. Let's talk about the cords. Okay, inside the box, I have two different cords. I have the DC cord, and it has this nice little end on it, which is familiar because this is actually the connector end that I already have on my van solar power. So I could just immediately plug this bad boy into my solar power, which is great. But for the purpose of today, since we're inside, I'm going to pull out this cord, which is just our standard wall plug. I can plug it in using this end to the power station and this one to the wall. Okay, and then up on this side it goes and in. And it turned on. So I think it just needed a little bit of a boost because it'd been sitting for so long. So the USB turns on, the DC turns on, and over here, this AC, does this turn on? Let's see, learning about this one. It shows here the amount of watts that are coming in. It's pulling a lot of watts off the wall. So 836 watts off the wall. It's already 58% charged. It has about 53 minutes on there. So I'm really curious to see what that means exactly. And again, I'm going to look through the book, but I like to kind of just get a feel for the power station first to see what's going on. Also, this is a light switch up here for this light, which is an LED, very bright light. It has a few different modes on here, including the strobe. Sorry about that, guys. And so all of those things are kind of interesting. I am definitely intrigued. I am going to try to plug some things in now, though, just to see what happens. A great starting place is an Apple Watch because I can plug it in a couple different ways. I can use the USB-C or I can use the standard plug. We'll start off over here, plugging in and then putting the watch on top and then touching the button. Okay? Still having some weirdness, kind of. Let me see if I turn off these, if this turns on. Okay. It doesn't appear to be turning on. Now, normally this is where it just automatically starts working. And I know you guys are probably saying, well, why are you showing us this if it's not working? That's because I like to give fair and honest reviews. I never encourage anybody to purchase anything on my channel unless they are looking for that thing. But at the same time, I like to inform you guys about brands that I find, and this particular company reached out and said, hey, can we send you this for review? So my stipulation is always that I want to be fair with you guys and tell you the honest to goodness truth. So I may be doing something wrong, and I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt that I am doing this wrong. So I'm going to consult the book now. Press once and the AC output is enabled. No, it's not. Short pressed. Still nothing. No. Do I do long press? Is there a short? Is something wrong? Maybe I try something else. Maybe I could plug in something else. Oh, I don't like it when things don't go well. This is so sad because it's a really nice looking power station and everything else looks very user friendly. Well, I guess my next thing is to try something else on it, and if it doesn't work, then I reach out to the company and see if their customer service is like, hey. Again though, that's why I review these things, because if this is happening to me on a demo unit that they sent me, it may happen to you guys. And finding out what to do next is just as important as knowing if it works. I don't like it whenever I have to call a company and be like, help me. Because I review so many different things that it's not user error. It's not user error. Oh. Well, this is reality. Before I try something else, let me see if the other ports are working. I'm gonna plug this into this port right here and turn it on. Okay, the light came on. It's charging. Okay, so that one does not have an issue. But the light, it just like for a minute, you could see it shining and then it just dimmed out and now it's not even coming back on. Okay, let's try this studio light. First, I'm gonna plug it into the wall. Clearly works. Okay, now I'm going to take it out and plug it into this port. Okay, try it. No. It is on. We could try the off. Still no. On. No. Okay, this port is just not working at all. Super unfortunate. Do I think that this power station has a lot of promise, and if I didn't have a dud unit, would it be great? Probably. It's a good size, it's a good weight, it charges relatively quickly. We're already at 64%, it's only been a couple minutes. But does it power the stuff? No. So in theory, great, and I'm hoping that I hear something from customer support, and if I do, I'll share that in the future. But unfortunately, for today's review, I'm going to have to say I do not recommend this one, only because I have a bad unit. And if I get a good unit in the future, I'll make sure to let you guys know. Again, I don't know what they're gonna say whenever I reach out to them. In the past, whenever I have had an issue with a power station, the companies have been more than willing to fix it, because this is just kind of like a one-off thing every so often that does happen. And I always encourage you guys, if you get something, no matter what the company is, if you have an issue, reach out to customer support, because that is part of the experience of purchasing something. And if somebody doesn't provide you with good customer support, don't use that company ever again. Now, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they will return my email, because, I mean, realistically, this probably is just a damaged unit and it happens. However, I do always want to be honest with you guys, and we can use these moments as teaching moments, that not everything always works out how we think it should. Sometimes it just doesn't, and that's just life. And it could be a lot of things. It could be that even though the packaging was in decent shape, there was a big gouge on it and it could have been treated badly in the shipping process, or it could just be that something didn't get connected. I've had things in the past that have had just a faulty piece of wire, or that when it came down the line, something was just missed, and I've never had that issue with another unit from that same company. So I'm going to reach out to them, but I wanted to keep it 100 with you guys always. And so today I'm introducing you to this brand. If you've had an experience with this brand previous, let me know. I haven't seen a lot of videos for them, and I'm very interested. They were kind enough to send this to me for review, but I always keep it a buck with you guys. So this is my current experience, and no light. So yeah. Wait. You thought this review was over. I have an update, and if this works, okay, cool. But if not, not surprising. Also, if it works, I don't know that it's great. I don't know that it's great news, but we're gonna try the light again. Power station is on. The button turns on. Now the question is, does the light turn on? Yep, sure does. So you're probably thinking, Bunny, that's great, it works. Not so great, actually. Really kind of unsettling, because this is very similar to another power station that I've tried out before. Now, I'm not gonna name any names because I don't like to do that. It's neither here nor there what brand that other one was. But the unsettling part of this is when I went online to go and talk to the company, I started looking at some of the other reviews, which I never do before I do my honest review. And I found out something that probably would have made it make so much more sense. See, whenever you're using this, you can't have it charging. That means no through charging. As you can imagine, when I started reading those reviews and then I saw that it can't through charge, I was like, oh no, not again. Because this is really not a great thing when it comes to van life. Now, if you have more than one power station, this could still work out for you. But if you are wanting to use this as a dedicated power source, and at some point you're going to have to charge it, are you willing to leave your refrigerator without power? Because if you can't use the ports while it's charging for however long that takes, do you feel comfortable doing that? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Now, I think it's a great power station when it comes to the size, the weight, and also the distribution of the plugs. I think there's a fair amount there. The light's really nice. It's a small enough power station it could tuck away into a lot of places. I like the flat top on it because that's ideal for being able to use it in a variety of different scenarios. However, it's ultimately going to be a judgment call that you have to make. And I probably would not use this one in my van as my primary source of power. That's all I'm going to say about that. Otherwise, though, if you are interested in a power station as like a backup for your house or something like that, you might be able to be okay. Again, though, if you're going to need it as continuous power for everything, and then you also have to charge it somewhere in between, maybe not. I don't like leaving reviews like this. Now, at the same time, I still can't explain why it wouldn't power on whenever I first touched it, because it had 58% of the battery. I also can't explain why the fan kind of sounds a little loud for what it is. And I definitely cannot necessarily understand why the front plug, at least the USB-C, was working, because it very clearly, through the reviews that I'm seeing, says that nothing would charge for most people. So I guess that's a blessing that mine worked. We'll find the positive in this. Yeah. Do I trust it for my van journey? Probably not. Is it okay for like a passive, like charge here and there, or like if you need it for just like a projector outside to watch a video, or like to run something small in the outdoors whenever you're just like going somewhere shortly? Sure, I think it would work for that. However, with the price point of just under $600, maybe consider if you need through charging. That's all I have to say. So with that said, guys, again, kind of a weird follow-up. Wasn't expecting to make that follow-up just right this moment. Oh, but look, see, the light works. The light works. Okay, cool. But just for more context, about to plug it into the wall to charge it, and you can see the light, you can see the plug, and there it goes. Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it.